The most dangerous lie you've ever been told is that retirement is an age. It's not. Retirement is a mathematical state of being where your assets generate more cash every month than your lifestyle consumes. In 2026, waiting until you're 65 to be free isn't a plan. It's a hostage situation. The system wants you to believe that you are a human resource to be used until your expiration date. But you aren't a resource. You are the architect of your own time. Most people look at the stock market and see a giant, confusing casino. They think they need millions of dollars and 40 years of grinding to escape the 9 to 5. This is the slow path, and for most people in 2026, it is a mathematical death sentence. The inflation we've seen over the last 5 years has turned the traditional savings account into a furnace where your purchasing power goes to die. If you are following the advice of your parents, you aren't building a future. You are financing a funeral for your freedom. But while you are grinding out 40 hours a week, there is a small group of people who have found a glitch in the matrix. They aren't smarter than you, and they didn't necessarily start with more money. They just realized that trading time for money is the most expensive mistake you can ever make. They aren't waiting 40 years for freedom. They are forcing the system to pay them every single month, starting now. In this 12-minute masterclass, I'm going to show you the exact 10-year dividend roadmap. We're going to break down the acceleration phase that most investors ignore, the 3 specific income multipliers that turn a small portfolio into a $2,900 a month cash machine, and the first $10,000 rule that triggers the avalanche. By the end of this video, you won't just have hope, you'll have a deadline for your freedom. Before we open the manual, let me introduce myself. I am Ryan. I realized that the traditional buy and hold strategy was designed by banks to keep you as a customer for life. I started this channel to give you the cheat codes to fire your boss and own your time. If you're ready to stop trading your life energy for a paycheck and start building a fortress, hit that subscribe button right now. We are building a community of people who refuse to wait half a century to live. Starting from zero is actually your greatest advantage. Why? Because you have no bad habits to unlearn. Most investors are addicted to the dopamine of growth stocks. They want the next rocket ship. They want to turn $1,000 into $1 million overnight. This triggers a massive release of dopamine in the prefrontal cortex. It feels like winning the lottery. But here is the scientific reality. Growth is a gamble on the future, while income is a guarantee for today. Most investors are wealth speculators. They buy a stock hoping that in 10 years, someone else will be willing to pay more for it than they did. This is gambler's logic, and it is the fastest way to stay broke. To retire in 10 years, you have to shift your brain from wealth speculation to cash flow engineering. We don't care if the price of a stock goes up tomorrow. We care if the company sends us a check. When you own a dividend-paying asset, you are a landlord of the global economy. You are owning the machines that print money while you sleep. The first 3 years are the grind phase. This is where most people quit because they don't see the snowball effect yet. They see a $5 dividend and think, this isn't working. But in the 10-year roadmap, those first $5 are the seeds of your freedom. Think about the psychological relief of knowing that on the first of the month, before you even roll out of bed, your bills are already paid. That isn't just money, that is biological safety. It lowers your cortisol, it removes your survival anxiety, and it gives you the most powerful weapon in the world, the ability to walk away from any situation that doesn't serve you. To hit $2,900 a month in 10 years, you have to treat your portfolio like a 3-stage rocket. Phase 1, year 1 to 3, the accumulation engine. In this phase, your only goal is to hit the dangerous $10,000 mark. At this level, your dividends aren't meant to be spent, they are meant to be weaponized. You use every cent to buy more income soldiers. This is where you build the foundation using dividend aristocrats, companies that have increased their payouts for decades. These are your bedrock. They pay lower yields, but they are indestructible. Phase 2, year 4 to 7, the yield expansion. This is where we move into the walls of your fortress. We start adding REITs and BDCs, business development companies. These assets are legally required to pay you 90% of their profits. This is where your monthly check starts covering your utility layer, your phone, your internet, and your groceries. When you hit this stage, your stress levels drop off a cliff. Even if you lost your job tomorrow, you wouldn't starve. You have survival alpha. Phase 3, year 8 to 10, the cash flow tipping point. This is the final stretch. We add covered call ETFs and high-income CEFs. These are the tools that turn the volatility of the market into immediate, aggressive cash flow. This is the secret sauce that allows you to bridge the gap to that $2,900 a month target without needing a $3 million balance. The biggest threat to your 10-year deadline isn't a market crash. It's status anxiety. Between year 3 and 5, you're going to see your friends buying new cars, taking luxury vacations on credit, and upgrading to the comfortable trap. You will be tempted to join them. You will feel the social proof pressure to follow the herd. The science of social proof explains that we are biologically wired to follow the herd. In the wild, leaving the herd meant death. But in the modern economy, following the herd means a slow death of 40 years in a cubicle. You have to be willing to look average to the people around you while you are secretly becoming dangerous. Every time you buy a status symbol on credit, you are signing a contract to stay a slave for another 6 months. Every time you buy a dividend soldier, you are signing a contract for 6 months of freedom. Look at their lives. Are they free? Or are they one corporate layoff away from a total financial collapse? They are rich on paper, but broke in reality. You, on the other hand, are building an energy shield. The American dream in 2026 is a commute scam. It's designed to keep you in a state of high-income poverty. Let's look at the math that makes $2,900 a month possible starting from zero. If you follow this slow path and get a 2% yield, you need $1.7 million. That won't happen in 10 years for most people. The mainstream financial advisors want you to buy an S&P 500 index fund. They tell you that a 1.5% dividend yield is safe. But for the average person, that number feels impossible. It causes goal disengagement. But if you build a hybrid portfolio with an average yield of 9%, you only need $386,000. Over 10 years, that means you need to invest roughly $2,100 a month. Now, for some of you, that sounds high. But remember, as your dividends grow and you reinvest them through a dividend reinvestment plan, or DRIP, you are creating a positive feedback loop. Your out-of-pocket contribution actually decreases every single year. By year 7, your dividends are doing most of the heavy lifting. The machine starts building itself. This is the snowball effect in its purest form. It starts slow, but once it gains mass, it becomes an unstoppable force of nature. Most people quit in the first 2 years because the snowball is still small. They are failing to see the exponential curve. By year 10, your snowball is an avalanche. To stay engaged for the 10 years it takes to build this, you have to hit psychological milestones. Layer 1 is the coffee phase. Your dividends pay for your daily habits. It might only be $30 a month, but for the first time in your life, your capital is buying your morning latte, not your labor. Layer 2 is the subscription phase. Your Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon Prime are now free. You have effectively removed the leech class from your bank account. Layer 3 is the utility phase. Your phone bill and your internet are paid. This is where it starts to feel real. You realize that you have secured your connection to the world. Layer 4 is the grocery phase. This is a massive psychological shift. When your investments feed you, your primal survival anxiety begins to vanish. Layer 5 is the transportation phase. Your car payment and insurance are covered. You have mobility freedom. Layer 6 is the shelter phase. Your mortgage or rent is covered. This is the holy grail. When your dividends pay for your roof, you are effectively unfireable. Your boss no longer has leverage over your basic survival. Layer 7 is the lifestyle phase. This is the $2,900 mark. This is where your hobbies, your travel, and your luxury are funded by the system. This is where work becomes a choice, not a necessity. Imagine the morning of year 10, day 1. You wake up on a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. You don't have an alarm clock because you don't have anywhere you have to be. You walk to your kitchen, make a coffee, and open your brokerage account. There it is. $2,900 has been deposited into your account while you were dreaming. That money didn't come from your labor. It didn't come from you sitting in traffic for an hour. It came from the labor of thousands of employees at the companies you own. It came from the rent paid by businesses in the buildings you own. You look at your phone and see a frantic email from your boss about a crisis at the office. In the past, this email would have ruined your day. But now, you smile. You realize that you don't even have to reply. Wealth isn't about being able to buy anything. It's about being able to reject anything. It's the power of the word no. No to the overtime. No to the toxic culture. No to the status games. The millionaire dream is a ghost from the 90s. You don't need $1 million to be free. You need $2,900 a month in cash flow. The 10-year clock is ticking. You can either spend the next decade building someone else's dream, or you can start building your own money machine today. The choice is a matter of simple mathematics. If you are ready to stop being a consumer and start being a capitalist, you need to understand the first domino. But most people make the mistake of thinking they need a massive salary to start. They wait for a raise that never comes. The truth is, you can trigger this entire avalanche with less than the cost of a single steak dinner. I've developed a specific wealth seed strategy that shows you exactly how to make $5,000 per month with only $25 per week. It sounds impossible until you see the math behind the accumulation engine I've built. I am going to show you the specific assets that turn a $25 weekly contribution into a $5,000 monthly freedom check. Click the video on the screen right now to see the blueprint, and let's make you dangerous. I will see you over there.